By the time you're done, you'll have a fully functional risk register, risks assigned to specific activities, probability and impact scores applied, and response plans documented, all ready to use inside P6.
A schedule without risk is a plan that ignores reality. Most teams keep risks in a separate spreadsheet where they never influence the schedule. That disconnect is dangerous. When a risk materializes, the team scrambles because the schedule was never built to absorb it. Integrate risk directly into P6. Now your schedule becomes defensible, auditable, and actionable, a living document that reflects uncertainty, not just intent. Here's the workflow you'll follow in this lesson, shown in a 4-step chevron. Start by building the risk register inside P6 list and categorize every risk. Then assign each risk to the specific activities it threatens, linking them directly. Next, score each risk by probability and impact. Quantify both likelihood and consequence. Finally, document your response plan, define mitigation or contingency actions. Each step feeds into the next, and together they produce a schedule that honestly represents project uncertainty.
To open the risk register, go to the project menu at the top of P6 and then select the risks option. Doing so opens the risks window, your central workspace for managing all risks in this lesson. If for some reason you do not see the risks option at all in your project menu, please double-check that your P6 version is professional or EPPM, because the risk module is not available in every edition. Creating a risk entry only takes a few steps. Click Add to create a new row. Give it a unique ID such as R001 so you can reference it later. Then type a clear specific name, don't just say delay, use something like late delivery of structural steel. Next, choose the type, threat if it could harm the project, opportunity if it could help. Finally, set the status to open. Repeat this for every identified risk before moving on. P6 draws a clear line between threats and opportunities. A threat is any event that could set your project back, a delay, a cost overrun, or a quality issue. An opportunity is something that could push things forward, like an early delivery or a cost saving. Classifying correctly is crucial because P6 applies different scoring logic and response strategies to each type. Once you've listed your risks, connect them to the activities they affect. Select a risk in the register, then find the detail panel at the bottom. Click the Activities tab and use the Assign button to search for and attach activities. A single risk can affect multiple activities, and one activity can carry several risks. Be specific. Assigning a risk to every activity in the project defeats the purpose. Attach risks to the specific activities. That actually lets P6 calculate precisely where in your schedule the exposure lives. A risk on a critical path activity is actually far more dangerous than the same risk on a float-rich activity. And then that connection makes your schedule defensible when a stakeholder asks why you built in contingency on a particular work package.
Start by selecting a risk and opening its scoring fields. You set 2 values: probability, the likelihood the risk will occur, and impact, the consequence if it does. P6 combines them using a scoring matrix into a single risk score. Your organization may have predefined thresholds. For example, high probability above 50%, high impact more than 10 days of delay. Be sure to apply those thresholds consistently across all risks you score. The probability impact matrix shows you where to act. Top right risks, high probability and high impact, demand immediate response. Bottom left risks are low priority, accept them on a watch list. The 2 middle quadrants need your judgment. A low probability high impact risk, like a site flood, still needs a contingency plan even if it seems unlikely. A high probability low impact risk needs close monitoring because it's likely, even if the damage is small. Use this matrix to prioritize. A common mistake: different team members score risks using different mental scales. One person's high is another person's medium. Before scoring anything, define exactly what each probability level means in percentage terms. Then define exactly what each impact level means in days or dollars. Document that legend and apply it uniformly to every single risk in the register.
With the scoring legend from the previous slide applied, any risk rated medium or higher must have a documented response plan. Go to the Response Plans tab on the risk, click Add. Choose your response type first, then write a clear description of what you'll do. P6 offers 4 response types for threats. Knowing each one is key before you pick. We'll break those down on the next slide. You need a response plan for each medium or higher risk. Here are the 4 types for threats. Mitigate means you act now to reduce likelihood or damage. Transfer shifts financial exposure via insurance or contract. Avoid changes the plan so the risk can't occur. Accept means you acknowledge the risk and take no action, valid for low-scoring risks. Choose the type that matches your actual response, not what sounds best. Next, add cost to the plan. When you add a response plan in P6, make sure to fill in the cost field. If your mitigation action means hiring a backup subcontractor or buying extra materials, that cost is real and it needs to go into the schedule. Leaving the cost blank makes your response plan read like a wish list. Including it turns it into a budget item that can be tracked and approved. Once the register is complete, every risk row gets a score, an activity assignment, and a response plan for anything medium or above. The color coding lets you and stakeholders see at a glance where the schedule is most exposed. This is the document you bring to a risk review meeting. It's proof your schedule was built with professional rigor.
Before you finalize your risk register, check for these 4 common mistakes. Vague risk names make risks impossible to track. Undefined scoring scales make comparisons meaningless. Project-level assignments hide where the real exposure sits. And response plans without an owner or a cost are just notes, not plans. Fix all these before you present the register to any stakeholder. Get it right, and your register will be a reliable tool.
Now you have the full workflow. Set up the risk register in P6. Assign each risk to the activities it affects. Score every risk using a consistent probability and impact legend. For anything scoring medium or above, document a response plan with a cost. Together, these 4 steps produce a risk-loaded schedule that's honest about uncertainty and ready for professional review.